Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Friday! It's Aloha Oracle Friday, and I do not know what's happening here. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Anyway, there we go. Oh, magic. So anyways, yeah, it's Aloha Oracle Friday. You're in the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. I reversed the cameras, so, whatever cards we pull today, you'll be able to see. But before we start, let's do the Oracle Guidelines. For anybody that might be new, I read these. Otherwise, I will squirrel and go in 20 directions. So, you know, I just lay it out on the line. Do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So, if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here. Number 2, do not make a card fit your situation if it does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. Number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to write it and put it together. So I do have the romance deck with me today. Someone told me to bring it, my higher powers, and I did. But so I will be repeating rule number 2, guideline number 2 in a bit. Yeah. So let's see. The only one I really don't read the book on, unless I feel absolutely compelled to do, is the Angel Answers deck. Because this is just to wait for people to come on, you know, waiting for people to get on, and wow, that was fast, to come on and just, you know, oh, I didn't realize I had the cards upside down. Oops. Anyway, I don't know if anyone's looking for a yes. There you go. I know, sorry, it's on the mirror image, so I gotta figure out how that works. But yeah, if anyone's looking for a yes, ta-da! There you go. That one came out twice, and then it was sitting facing up on the top of the deck, so I figure someone needs to hear that. But, so there you go. There you go. I usually like to get about 5 cards when I do this, so well, let's see. Excuse my shirt hanging up in the bathroom, or I mean in the back. I had the news on, and my dad has this super ginormous TV, so apparently it has super ginormous sound, because no matter how low I turn it, I can still hear it. So anyways, I was running into the room because I got squirrely this morning and lost track of time and forgot to turn it down. All stuff you don't need to know, but now you do. So anyways, oh come on, what do they need to hear? Show me the messages! Show me the message! I know I need to calm my energy down a bit. It's a little wackadoodle. So, alright, I'm going to try it this way and see if anything pops out. There we go. There we go. One more. There it is. I just... yeah, it's amazing what happens when you can calm your energy down. And to be honest with you, I only calmed it down a bit. I am just super high anxiety today for some reason. Anyways, all right. I'm just gonna show these as they came up, or as I put them together. So, number 1, a year from now. I don't know what that means for anybody, but a year from now. So, it may not mean anything. Like, you know, you're like, oh my God, how much longer do I have to wait? It could mean a year from now. It could mean up to a year from now. It depends. You know, sorry, I'm shifting. It depends. All right. But let's see what the other cards have to say beforehand. Ask your angels. A lot of times we struggle with asking for help, asking for support, you know, it's, you know, being honest about the situations we're in. I struggle with that all the time. I have far too much pride for my own good, and I'm working on that, and I'm really, really trying hard to work on that. But it's not always easy when you're used to being the one that's kind of that gives all the time. It's not always easy to receive. So it really, I think, comes down to feeling worthy. And I think we all deserve to feel worthy. I think we all deserve to be spoiled from time to time. And I got to remind myself that, you know, it's okay when people do nice things for us. So anyways, yeah, so ask your angels. All right. Sorry, guys. I don't know why my anxiety is speaking today, but it is. And I can tell because everything itches. Meditation brings answers. I swear we had these last week. but I guess the message still isn't clear. So meditation brings answers. Good morning, Catherine. We can meditate with our angels. We can meditate with our higher powers. We can meditate. There are a million different meditations you can do on YouTube. So if you struggle with meditating or you feel like you're just not that proficient at it, you're just like, you know what? Go to YouTube. YouTube has everything. So anyways, yeah, meditation brings answers. Success. So maybe something you start today will come to its full fruition a year from now, right? And so don't quit on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. And lastly, listen to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. So I'm going to replace that last card and put that one in its place, and then success in the end. So a year from now, and like I said, it could be sooner than a year, it could be as late as a year, but a year from now, if you ask your angels and meditate on bringing the answers, while also listening to your intuition and following your spidey instincts and making the right choices, the good choices, and not going against the grain because, you're scared or it feels right. If it feels right in your gut, which is your spidey instinct, in your soul, in your heart, then make that choice, because you never know what one road that you may be going down, you may think you're supposed to be going down, may not be the road you're meant to go down. So when you listen to your intuition, you will find your success, whatever your success is that you want, whatever it is you're trying to be successful at. So, all right, normally I do the angel answer cards to wait for people to come on. So let's get rolling. Let's move into the decks. I have the New Orleans deck, the Magical Messages from the Fairies deck, the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle, and the Romance deck. Anyway, yeah. So you're like, why are you always so, I know, I'm always so cynical with the romance one. Sorry. Your oracle reader should not be eye rolling. Wow. Okay, hold please. Hold on 1 second. You get to stare at my ceiling while I pick this up because I don't want. You're like, what the hell is that? I didn't want to pull it off the computer. So, anyways, all right, there's one. Where did I put the cards? I'm a hot mess today, you guys. Like, seriously, a hot mess today. There's another one. Let's see if we get any more. I like the first one, the one I just pulled up. Catherine, thank you. I'm telling you, you know what? Some things just never change. But, oh, there it is. All right. Normally we don't get 3 from this deck, but it seems as though they have spoken. Ooh, these are good. These are all good. One thing I love about these cards is they are just so beautiful and vibrant. I mean, like straight up beautiful and vibrant. So the first card is share your gifts. Share your gifts. I know a lot of times in this world we hold back because we're afraid of what people might think of us. Doing Aloha Oracle Friday was not original to the daily vibe or even to the beginnings of the Aloha perspective. It came along because one day I had no subject and I thought, what can I do for Friday? Friday fun, right? And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do an oracle reading. And it just so happened that one of my friends that isn't always able to come on was able to come on and said, oh my God, I love this. You should do this every Friday. And so it's stuck. And it's been probably, I don't know, about a year now. It feels like longer, but the Aloha Perspective is only going to be 2 in November. So I would probably say it's been about a year. And yeah, so I started doing it. But the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes I'm afraid to share my gifts, because sometimes the gifts that I have, if said to the wrong people, could probably land me in a padded room. So, because not everybody believes that. Not everybody, some people just think, they'll shun you. They'll sit there and go, you're the devil, or the devil's got his hand on you. And it's like, because people, when they're afraid, they automatically hide behind their beliefs. And so a lot of people are afraid to share their gifts. So I do have to be careful with who I share my gifts with. But this is kind of the standard run-of-the-mill kind of gifts, right? So, and I don't mean run-of-the-mill, but it's a little more commonly known. So people are a little more receptive to it. You will notice I don't do tarot when I do these, because I am telling you, those are the one things that is so hard for me to learn. I mean, I absolutely love them. I have several decks that are just, they're fun. Some of them are fun. Some of them are amazing. They're all very vibrant and pretty and beautiful. And I know so much about it, but I think I don't trust my intuition enough. And so oracle cards are a little bit more straightforward for me and a little bit easier for me to translate. So, but like I said, I also read what the person puts in the book, because, they took the time to write it. So share your gifts. All right. And that's number 8. That's an infinity number. So somebody out there, the infinite wisdom of somebody out there is telling you, share your gifts. Jackson Square. Show the world what you're working with. Although Jackson Square is a historic landmark, today it is also New Orleans' foremost showcase for people looking to share their creative gifts and natural talents. Whether their specialty is fancy food, artistic masterpieces, or intuitive readings, everyone wants to see and be seen in Jackson Square. You pulled this card because your creative side is calling for more freedom to be shown. For your freedom is calling for more freedom to be shown out in the world. Creativity doesn't have to be limited to activities like painting or singing. You can write, make jewelry, or create anything that you feel moved to create. There is no need for a ready-made place to share your gifts. The more that you choose to do, the more the space the universe will make for you to share. So interestingly enough, about a year ago, I started making jewelry, and it actually helps with my anxiety, although lately I've just kind of I've gotten away from it. But I mean, these are one of the things I made, just a little thing for my birthday that I made last year. Or not my birthday, but I made, because the reason I said my birthday is because of the garnets, and garnets are my birthstone. But why am I not wearing them? No idea. But it's true that, the more you put into your creativity, this is not something I ever thought I would do. I love to write. I love to talk, obviously. But I do. I love to write. I have a lot of different creative outlets. That's not one I ever thought I'd have. But something happened one day, and I just put something together, and I thought, and I just wore it, and people started saying, wow, that's amazing. And then next thing I know, people started asking if they could buy it. Now that's tapered off, but it's only amongst my own people. But my cousin recently did something at the place that was my mom's church. And they have something like every so often, they'll do a little fundraiser, and you pay like a certain amount of money and you can just sell your stuff. They provide everything except for your stuff to sell. So I thought, wow, you know what? The universe is opening up, because people believe in my work enough that they think I can sell it. So, it's a journey. It's a journey, but I mean, that's just one of the first things I made. But they've gotten a little more intricate and they're very straightforward. Nothing fancy, super fancy. I'm working on that. But when we share our gifts, the universe will open, itself to your creativity. So stay open to that. And the best thing about that is the next card is flow. So stay open to the flow. When we put out the good positive energy, it can help bring the good positive energy back to us. When we put out negative energy, so on and so forth. It can be hard. It can be hard. I'm not going to lie. The last couple of years, the struggle has been real. And it's really kind of hard to find your footing when, you're constantly feeling unworthy. You're constantly feeling like you're a failure. You're constantly feeling, all the bad things. And this isn't about a pity party. This is me sharing an experience to help you understand that when you continually think in a certain pattern, that's what you're going to get back. And so I'm taking the time while I'm here and I'm by myself, no sibling, roommate around, no dad here. I'm trying to take this time to really kind of get into myself. It's almost for me like sprinkled with people that, I'm going to see this weekend, friends that live here. It's kind of like a meditation retreat for me. I'm taking the time to really kind of observe my my emotions, my reactions, and stuff to things, because it's time to start moving forward. And it's hard to be one of these people that does these shows every week, including the Oracle cards, and say, yeah, live your best life, but I'm not. So flow is such a huge thing. I mean, look how beautiful this card is. I mean, it's so vibrant and wonderful and lovely. And, you know, we have to stop letting things upend us. You know, I mean, I'm still friends with people I used to work with on Instagram. And, you know, sometimes you see stuff that just kind of makes you sad because you miss these things. And I think that kind of upended me this week. And, you know, it's okay. It's my issue. It's my problem. And, you know, sometimes you just have to find a way to move forward and to let go of the past, to let go of everything behind you, because it's not serving you. You know, pull up your anchors. Just don't sit there anymore. You know? So flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow is, I think, to me, I know a lot of people sit there and say, I hate it when people say go with the flow. To me, I think going with the flow is one of the biggest gifts that we can ever give ourselves. You know, to learn how to ride through the storm so that you can find the rainbow at the other end and just travel beautifully from, you know, event to event, or situation to situation to situation, or whatever it is. You know, it's not what happens to us, it's how we react to it that really can determine what happens next. So let's see. Flow is the natural balance of all beings and things. The movement of the ocean and the cycles of the moon are all perfect examples of flow. They are ever changing without judgment and of fluid form. Much like the ocean, the human experience of flow can be rather unpredictable. However, it is always as it should be. It is time for you to be aware of what your flow is without judgment. This can mean anything from a minor change in daily habits that will put you more at ease, to a major decision concerning career that may lead to a huge positive shift in your life. Staying in your flow simply requires the awareness of how your energy is affected by your thoughts or experiences, and choosing the thoughts or experiences that feed into your flow instead of taking you out of it. So there you go. I think it says the boast right here. It is time for you to be aware of what your flow is without judgment. And, you know, and also, much like the ocean, the human experience of flow can often be unpredictable. So again, how we meet that challenge is how we learn to move forward. Where, you know, right here, I think is my favorite. Staying in your flow simply requires the awareness of how your energy is affected by your thoughts or experiences. So, to be a broken record, what you put out there is what you're going to get back. So if you're constantly putting out a negative flow, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a negative flow. So just allow yourself to have a positive flow, even when it's hard. You know, make a playlist, maybe all the songs that make you happy. Watch a movie that you know when you're sad will probably help, you know, spring you forward and make you happy. Watch videos, watch cat videos. I mean, who doesn't love cat videos? All right. They make people laugh, or animal videos, period. Or just, you know, have, maybe even just an album in your phone of just, you know, positive memes, something that can help you push yourself out of your negative train of thought. Because the more the negative train of thought continues, the harder it's going to be for you to find your way out and back into the light. So it's about a balance, all right? And lastly, make a wish. Make a wish. So, I have a lot of wishes, but let's see. I'm just going to read this one because, you know, make a wish. But just to go with that, when you share your gifts and when you learn to go with the flow, you can make your wish. I mean, you can make your wish beforehand, but if you don't have the energy or the flow to go with it, if you don't have the vibration to match what you're asking for, it is probably going to take a long time to get to you, or it may not come to you at all. But the other thing I want to talk about making a wish, always remember, whether you're saying a prayer, setting an intention, or trying to manifest something, always finish it with the magic words of this or something better. Because you don't want to just stick, you know, your guides, your higher power into a box. You want them to be in a big old open field. to bring you whatever it is you want in life. And, you know, sometimes you may circle around it and they may lead you in another direction and that may not work out and you might come back to exactly what it is that you wanted, but you will have learned the lesson before you got there. So it's very important to remember that when you match the vibration and when you absolutely and truly believe that something is meant for you, and when you truly and absolutely believe that you are giving your higher powers, your spirit guides, your angels, whoever you turn your higher focus to, when you give them the wiggle room they need, then you will have this or something better. Remember, this that you want may not be intended for you. It may feel like it and you may want it, but it may not be intended for you. So what we have to do sometimes is just when we add that or something better, again, you just give them this wide open space to work in. All right, so make your wish. It's time to make a wish. This card has shown up in your reading because it's time to let go and let the universe guide you. You have thought every thought. You have done all that's within your power for the moment. Sit back and imagine your desire without restrictions. Allow yourself to feel what it would be like to fully experience the thing you most hope for. Give gratitude to yourself and your angels for helping to manifest that which is for your highest good. Excuse me one moment. So let's try that again. Everything's draining. It's time to make a wish. This card has shown up in your reading because it's time to let go and let the universe guide you. You have thought every thought. You have done all that's within your power for the moment. Sit back and imagine your desire without restrictions. Without restrictions. Allow yourself to feel what it would be like to fully experience the thing you most hope for. Give gratitude to yourself and your angels for helping to manifest that which is for your highest good. So I really, really like that card. In fact, I do a card of the day. I think that's going to be the one. So, you know, here in the US, it's a holiday weekend. And if you don't have plans, now could be a really good time to just, you know, relax, chill out, and learn how to go with the flow, learn how to make wishes and set intentions and manifestations, and, you know, allow yourself the freedom and allow your higher powers the freedom. You know, like I said, when it says in that card without restrictions, this or something better, this or something better. So, sorry, I can see the pool and the tennis courts barely from here, but there's movement on the tennis courts, which you don't see very often here. So anyways, let's see. I have the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle. Let's see what we got. Or do we have anything? What do the magical unicorns want to tell you guys? There we go. I was going to say nothing. Do they not want to say anything to you? Let's see, is there one more or no? No? All right. Unicorns are quiet today. So, Anahata. So this is cute. I love these cards. They're just, the unicorns just make me giggle at every turn. Not in a like haha funny way, but they're just so adorable. So the Anahata, love without judgment. Love without judgment. Talked about this yesterday, kind of in the show, when I was talking about, yesterday I just kind of really gave the rollover of my mental health struggles and stuff, trying to be very open about it, just in one actual show and not kind of sporadically mentioned throughout different episodes. But love without judgment is huge. It's huge. Right now, there's so much turmoil in the world. There's so many people angry with one another. There's so many people that are angry with people and have no idea why they're angry with people, but because someone said it, they decided that's what they should do. So we have to learn to be better. I think that's why the unicorn deck decided, hey, this is the card that's coming up today, because this is what people really need to focus on, to love without judgment. You know, I might pull this card up next week, and, you know, next week is June and next month is Pride Month. And I'm going to be doing, I've been a little angry with some of the things I've been hearing lately going against the rainbow flag. And I feel as an ally to a lot of friends and family that I have that fall under the LGBTQ community. I feel like it's I don't want to say my duty, but more my right, to stand up for them. You know, I don't have to, I'm a straight person. I don't have to go through some of the things that they have to go through. I don't have to fight to get married. I don't have to fight to stay married. Well, I mean, you know, I got to fight to find somebody for all these things. But my point is, why do we judge people? So a lot of people will hide behind things. A lot of people will hide behind, you know, well, we'll get into this more next week. So, and trust me, if you like to see Shelly on her soapbox, that'll be the time to come aboard. But I guess right now, instead of getting all passionate about it, like I definitely will next week, because I got a lot to say, I think we should learn how to love without judgment. We should look at a person, not what they're doing behind their own private doors, but who they are as a person in public, who they are as a person to other people, the kindness that people have. I mean, if you're walking around, would you want, so what if the shoe was, you know, the roles were reversed? People don't think about that. They get so caught up in, you know, their own self-righteousness. They don't think about that. And loving without judgment is really what this world is lacking and missing right now. We're finding so many reasons to be angry and to be hateful and to be spiteful. And then there's the rest of us who have these moments, yeah, but are trying so hard to put these ripple effects in the world of kindness, of love, of understanding, of compassion, of seeing other people for who they are, you know, and not judging what their lifestyle might be like. So in simple terms, be kind, and be kind, right? So love without judgment. Number 16. I should have turned the light on before I started this. All right. Oh, it's the lettuce plant. So these are all plants, by the way. And you can tell because here's the other side of the card. So you know, all the unicorns are based on plants. And in fact, I'm not going to read this card, but like the rainforest, right? It says the good luck card. Hey, look at that. I just pulled that out of the deck. So you know what? This is for everybody. It's the good luck card. But if you can see there, it really, it's all plant-based. So Anahata. At first sight, the lettuce might not seem to be the obvious choice for a beautiful bouquet, but its gorgeous pearly green leaves have their own beauty reminiscent of the color of the heart chakra. It is such a versatile plant in both the culinary and medicinal worlds. The humble lettuce is excellent for brain health, reduces anxiety, and supports healthy sleep. On a metaphysical level, lettuce encourages love and compassion. There it is, love and compassion. Anahata is the Indian Sanskrit word for the heart chakra, meaning unstruck or unbeaten. It is located in the center of your physical heart and lungs. So right around here, I would guess. Sorry, I lost my space. The heart always seeks unity, peace, and inclusiveness. Its key words are kindness, generosity, and respect for all living things. Let me repeat that. Kindness, generosity, and respect for all living things. The Anahata unicorn welcomes an opening of the heart, especially in a situation where you may be tempted to close it down. Someone may have hurt you or made you angry, and your first instinct is to hurt them back. Anahata asks you to imagine what you would say to this person if you knew they only had one day left on this earth. You may find your ire softens, and you are more likely to forgive them. You may begin to focus on all their positive qualities and their innate goodness. These beautiful thoughts will lighten your heart, bring compassion, and help ease the burden of stuck and heavy emotions. Perhaps you are someone who is easily hurt and feel the keen sting of others' behaviors more than you should. The following visualization can help. So they do have the unicorn magic. I can get that way. Sometimes I used to knee jerk a lot. I've gotten a lot better at that and not doing that because I realize sometimes when people are just being jerks, they're probably hurting or something might be hurting them or they're just not feeling like themselves. And I've been in that situation too, and I've been lucky that I was met with compassion and you know, understanding and somebody saying, "Are you okay? What's wrong with you? Because this isn't normal for you to act like this." So I think what this card is trying to tell us is that, you know, if somebody says something hurtful, before you react, before you sit there and visually punch them in the face, maybe not physically, but just imagine, like, you know, in my head, I'm punching you in the face. That used to be a saying not that long ago. But Just think about how you would feel if you knew this person only had one day left on earth. And it might actually soften you. Maybe you'd be more compassionate. Maybe you would sit there and say, why are you saying these nasty things to me? Is there something that's going on that I can help you with? Sometimes it's hard, but we have to be the bigger person. We have to be the better person. And like I said, it's not always easy to be the bigger person, because sometimes you feel, why do I have to continually be the person that calms other people down, that tries to be the voice of reason for other people? Why is this my job? Maybe because you have that gift. Maybe it's because you have that gift of listening. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? Why are you being like this? 9 times out of 10, I think there's a reason behind it. That's just perspective. But, so just take a step back. I need to learn how to do that too. So the unicorns bring you this meditation to teach your heart resilience. Take these very deep breaths and imagine a beautiful green crescent moon curved around your heart chakra. The points of this moon arc up to each shoulder, while the thickest part of the crescent creates a beautiful glowing shield that protects your heart and makes it resilient and strong. So it goes clearly from this end like this. So don't put it like you'd see it in the sky. It's laying down. All right. Carry a rose quartz crystal with you and keep it close to your heart area. Think of this radiant green crescent shield often. This will help you to love humankind freely and without judgment. So, if you're a dude and you have pockets, you can put it in a pocket. If you wear chains, you can put it on a chain. If you're a girl, you can stick it in your bra. I can't tell you how many times I put crystals in my bra sometimes, just like, But, and I know it's not everybody's thing. In fact, I even have, this is a rose quartz, so one of my rings, but, which for some reason I'm not wearing today. Habit. So anyways, this is my moonstone. But yeah, so just, that may not be your thing. Give crystals a chance. I know a lot of people sit there and go, oh, they're hokey, they're this, they're that. They're part of the earth, okay? They're not just, be careful what you buy, because some people will try to fake you out and sell you something that's not real. I've fallen for that one too many times. So now I just go out and buy it myself, or I buy it from people that I know are reputable. But just be careful if you buy something online, all right? But give them a chance. The earth has a vibration, and these things are coming from the earth. And the more raw they are, the better. And by raw, I mean not polished, not tumbled, not designed into things, but just raw, straight out of the earth. And you can buy them that way too. So they really can make a difference. So I have the messages from the fairies. So we went right from the unicorns to the fairies. I love this deck. This is one of my favorite decks. It's just so colorful and so cute and cheery and adorable. And, I know a lot of people have, that's interesting. There are some cards that are facing up. So I'm just going to go through this really quick, because I don't think these are the cards, but a significant birthday holds the answers to your questions. So whether you have a birthday coming up or you have a birthday that passed, maybe something happened, and it's something that you need to think on, okay? Flower power. Spend time with flowers and flower essences to create your personal healing power. So you can spend time in a garden, or maybe if you go out for a walk, or, I know in California, I think the super bloom might be over now, but there's still a lot of super bloom happening on our freeways. But you can go and spend time with flowers, even if maybe you just go hang out in the flower section of your grocery store, your supermarket. But find something in nature. Or, essential oils can also be really good. You can get, they have rose oil, they have all different kinds of flowers and stuff. So, and just tune in. Sometimes that can actually help with your meditation by just focusing on the scent. But if you do use essential oils, please, 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 please be careful, because not all animals can handle those things, okay? It can soak in, if you have a diffuser, it can soak in through their fur, through their skin, through the pads of their toes, their feet. I lost my kitty last week, not from that, but about 6 or 7 years ago, I was using lavender oil or lavender spray, and I didn't realize, I didn't think about it, that cats may not be able to process this. And they weren't ever really able to find what was wrong with her. It's just that her insides were starting to shut down. And I realized what it was. I realized that it was because I would let her into my room in the morning after I'd spray the stuff, but it was on the floor. Because, you know, when you spray it, it goes everywhere, right? And it wasn't something that you just buy in the store. I mean, this is something somebody made. And so it was soaking in through the pads of her feet. And I almost lost her. And fortunately, miracles abound. She survived another 7 years until last Thursday when she did pass away in my arms. So I know I still miss her a lot and processing that too. But she was the miracle kitty. So I'm grateful that she had that extra time to spend with Sibling and I. So and let go. As you surrender the need to control, your relaxed energy rapidly attracts your desires. Going back to the New Orleans deck where we talked about flow and we talked about flow and make a wish, when you learn how to let go and let go of control, these types of things give you the space to move around in. Because a lot of times what causes the negative vibration, what causes the negative energy around us is our need to control everything. And we know we can't control everything. We know that there are going to be things that are simply out of our control. And when they get out of our control, when we lose control of something, we tend to knee-jerk again. You know, we tend to just lose our ever-loving minds. And what's happening there is this good vibration you may have had has suddenly just been upended by this explosive negative energy that you're now putting out there. So just be careful with that, okay? Again, it's how we react to things that can truly, truly make the difference. So let's see if there's one. Wow, that was interesting. It landed in the box. Whoa, okay, those are not for everybody. Okay, I think that was the one. Do we have any more? All right, I'm gonna do one more shuffle and see if there's any other card in there that wants to come out. That's an interesting card. That one didn't fall as far away as the other one did when I had to put you to the ceiling. So, all right. Oh, this is it. Wow, these are interesting. Yeah, these are, wow, okay, so they all seem to go together. Spiritual teacher. Your life purpose involves healing others or teaching others about healing and spirituality. One of my favorite things to work on, and one of the, I actually have some clients now. The problem with me is I get a client, but then I teach them how to do things. So, I send them on their merry way, knowing that they're going to be okay. So when I say, and I don't mean that's a bad thing. That's kind of my purpose. They pay me to do something for them, to help them with, because I do have a Ho'oponopono certification and a Reiki certification. And, they're both, to me, wonderful, powerful spiritual gifts and spiritual certifications. And, I have been very grateful and very humbled by the fact that I have been able to teach people how to, a lot of the people that come to me for the Ho'oponopono services are people who know about it, who read about it, but for some reason can't seem to help it work for them. So I guide them and I teach them. And, it's on my Etsy store, and I don't ask a lot. So, there's some people on there that ask these astronomical figures. I'm sure I could probably raise it, but my whole goal is not so much to make the money on it, which would be a good thing, but to show people to have confidence in themselves, to know that if you understand this gift, that all it takes is trusting yourself and believing in yourself, having this gift that you can share with other people. And I had one client who came back to me several times, and the fourth time she's all like, I'm having this issue, I just wanted to, I think she was asking me for help without asking me for help. Should I purchase this from you? And I told her no. And I'm not trying to make myself look good. What I'm trying to do is give the example here. I told her no. I said, you need to have faith in yourself. You need to have trust in yourself. You know how to do this. So give it a whirl and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, then come back. I followed up with her a couple days later, worked like gangbusters for her. And I mean, I couldn't have been more proud. It's like, it's almost like having a kid, right, that grows up overnight. So it's like this magical kid that grows up overnight and just learns and trusts themselves. And it's such a beautiful feeling to see people utilize a gift they know they have and turn it into something that works for them. So when it comes to being a spiritual teacher, whether you have a certification or whether you're just an awesome human being who gives a lot of themselves to other people, don't be afraid to share your best self, excuse me, with others, because you do not know how that might affect them. You may inspire them without even realizing you're inspiring them. So again, your life purpose involves teaching others about healing and spirituality. I also feel like that's for me. So I know. So let's read what the book has to say. You drew this card because you've asked about your life purpose and career direction. This card indicates that you're a born teacher who gives advice and information to strangers, friends, and family members. Your natural counseling and teaching abilities will serve you well in a professional way. You may start out on a part-time basis and build up to a full-time career. If you need additional skill training, your inner guidance will direct you. Ask the fairies to help you with this training, including paying for it, and they'll open doors for you in many ways. So for anybody who's having a problem with the word fairies, just think nature angels, okay? Nature angels. All right, so additional meanings for this card. Investigate a career as a counselor or psychologist. Write articles or books and submit them to publishers. A message about a spiritual teacher validates your intuition. Give a workshop. Start charging money for your counseling or healing sessions. Yeah, why do I feel like this card is saying, Shelly, listen to us? So, hey, I'm not going to say that I'm immune to the readings of these things. So practice, practice, practice is the next card. With daily practice, you can polish your skills and talents and increase your confidence. So this is something I think a lot of us need to work on. Even with certifications, I find myself falling behind now because my head has just not been in a good place. So maybe for anybody who feels this way, maybe you feel like you're falling behind the 8 ball, maybe you feel like you're just not being able to catch up with all the things that you've learned. Practice, practice, practice. You may know it like the back of your hand, but that doesn't mean you can't practice on it, with it. You know, just if something's happening in your life that doesn't feel right, practice on it. If somebody comes to you and they're feeling sad or whatnot, just say, hey, you know what, there's something that I do and I really just kind of need to get my practice in. Do you mind if I use you as a guinea pig? You know, and your friends may say no, or they may say, what's it all about? Is it going to do weird things? It's like, no, I just need you to be open to it. Always ask people, okay? Because some people are not going to be receptive to it. And if it doesn't work, you're going to think, oh, maybe I'm not doing it right. It's because people can sometimes put a wall up. All right. So even though it is possible to help people without their permission, and by that I mean a lot of the spiritual work and that, you know, like my particular certifications I can do, you don't want it to be blocked if they, you know, if they're not receptive to it. So it could take longer if they're not, but it's better to have somebody's permission. All right. So again, and this could be anything, you know, maybe you're learning how to type, maybe you're learning how to write, maybe you're trying to write in a different type of format. Practice, practice, practice. Okay. Anything across the board that you're trying to work on. Practice, practice, practice. So let's see what this one has to say. This is a good one. These are all good cards today. The fairies love to play musical instruments, and they know that consistent practice increases their enjoyment, confidence, and competency. In the same vein, you drew this card because you've asked how to accomplish something. The answer is for you to invest time practicing and working on your goal daily. Even a few minutes will add up to big progress. For example, writing 1 page a day will lead to a complete book by the end of the year. Push yourself to practice beginning today. See, that's another one. I started rewriting. I'm in my second draft of a story I wrote last year. And I realized that I think I finally, after all these years, figured out how I need to write. No writer usually does anything off their first draft. The first draft is kind of where, you know, you're just plopping down all the ideas. I mean, not that I know of. Some people are so amazing, they probably just write it and say, it's done. But I wrote a story. It was only about 40 pages. I wrote a short story. And I told older sibling, I said, I'm working on the second draft now because I realized this might be the way I need to do it, write the short story and then go back and flesh it out. And wow, I'm not even done with the first chapter yet, and it's already about 10 pages. So I'm fleshing it out. So it's practice, 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 because eventually I want to turn it potentially, I think it has potential to be a play. And so by doing this, we have to show ourselves to practice. But I tend to become overwhelmed with certain things. I tend to become a little, when I'm not in a good place mentally, I start to lose my passion for everything. And I think I've been kind of stuck on that hamster wheel and finding a way to push myself off. So if you are like that, if you are a person who just struggles sometimes, maybe something upends you that's super big and you try to find your footing, but it's like, trying to balance on a log in the water, right? And you're not one of those log guys that do that for competition. Maybe that's not you and you're sitting there like, please don't let me fall in the water. You might fall in the water. Don't struggle so hard, because what you're going to do is you're going to get back up and you're going to figure out how to do it right. And you may, if you fall, get up where you fell and keep moving forward. All right. So, let's see. Where was I? Oh, additional meanings for this card. Take up a new hobby or skill. Join a class to learn something new. Open a private practice conducting healings or one-on-one work. Take private lessons to polish your skills. It's time to showcase your talents publicly. Take active steps towards your goal in order to receive your dreams. So there you go. That's a good one. And the last one, children. Children. Your connection with children is part of your life's purpose. So some of you out there may be saying, I know I have this gift. I know this, that, or the other. Maybe it has to do with children, whether it's being someone who teaches young children. I have a cousin that teaches, I think they're just pre-K. But they're in this stage where they're starting to get curious, they're starting to learn new things, and she is so wonderful with them. She never had children of her own, not for lack of trying, but the way she reacts with them, this was her life purpose. She went to, she started out, I think, as a helper, and then she went back to school and then became the teacher. So it's just, Miss Trez. I know, I mean, the way my cousin talks about how, like when she's working with these kids, it's so beautiful to see that people are putting themselves out there. They're putting their heart into something, because, the children are the future. And what we teach them now is what they're going to grow up to put into this world. So if we teach them to have that love, that compassion, that empathy, if we teach them to have respect for themselves, pride for themselves. I have a friend who struggles a lot with her own personal issues, but she's raised her children to be confident, to feel worthy, to feel loved, or to know they're loved. And it's beautiful to see when children know their worth. So, again, they are the future. So, be kind to them, be good to them, teach them the right things. Don't teach them to hate. Teach them to love unconditionally. So, the fairies love and trust children because of their pure faith and guileless motives. This card comes to you as a sign of your connection to them. As you read the additional meanings behind this card, notice which message clicks as your truth. Pay attention to signs and intuitive feelings related to the topic of children, for the universe is trying to get the message to you. Your life purpose involves working with children. The energy of pregnancy surrounds you. A child in heaven is sending a message of love. You have a connection to indigo, crystal, or rainbow children. Your inner child needs to play. I'm one of those. I think I'm an indigo child, but yeah, you have a connection to indigo, crystal, or rainbow children. I'll be honest with you. There are certain mental issues that some kids have that I firmly believe is because they exist on a higher frequency than a regular human would. They see things much, much differently. And I think people misinterpret it and, give it a medical condition name because they don't know how to explain it. So, a lot of times I think the indigo, crystal, or rainbow children fall into those categories. So, just compassion, Go with grace, go in grace, go in empathy, go in compassion. So here we are, the romance angels. I know, I try not to be cynical. I'm sorry. When I read these, I really, really try to be upbeat, because it's whenever these cards come up, it is not me. It is somebody saying you need to bring these cards and somebody needs a message. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. So I'm going to read the guidelines, because the most common thing, a person will go to an intuitive, to a psychic, to a card reader, whatever. Most of the time, I would probably say, because I asked somebody once that I had gone to, and I asked them. I said, "What is the first thing most people normally ask you?" And they want to know about their love life. And I've seen it firsthand. I went to an event. It was like a singles event, like 1 billion years ago, right? And they had a card reader there. And I went up to her, because it was part of the thing. I thought, well, this will be fun. And this is really before I started understanding my gifts, before I really started, it's before I really understood my gifts. So I was just kind of freewheeling on out there, right? And I go up and she's all, let me guess. The first thing you want to know is, and it was, like I said, it was a singles event. And she says to me, let me guess, the first thing you want to know is who is the one? And I'm all, no. I said, I just want to know what lies in my future. And so she was surprised. So 2 different people in 2 different decades, because that was a couple decades ago, have asked me, or have told me when I've asked, what is the number one thing most people ask for? And it's usually love or money. So that being said, do not make a card fit your question if it does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress or overthinking. And by that I mean, you may sit there and go, oh my gosh, but I don't have anybody. And then maybe somebody doesn't appear in your life, or maybe somebody you like ends up somewhere else. And then you're like, well, I don't understand because the card said this. You cannot force something. If it resonates with you, fabulous. But remember, this or something better. The one thing you might want might not be meant for you, but something better will be. Okay, you have to trust your higher powers. You have to trust whoever it is you're putting out these intentions, prayers, and manifestations to are going to bring you what is for you and your highest good. All right. So that being said, let's get rolling. And I think that's the other reason I get cynical with these cards is I worry about what other people are going to grab from these, because, I don't want people to feel, I've had predictions made in my own life that still have yet to come to fruition. And it's just, it can be so annoying and soul draining and basically soul killing until you realize, hey, you know what? I just need to live my life and see what happens, So, well, there's one, finally. All right. Whoa. All right. One more shuffle. Let's see what happens. I've already got 3. Oh, I'm going to let that one come out because it looks like it wanted to. All right. We got 4. Wow. Needy people. I'm just kidding. All right. We got 4. So let me shuffle those. Number 1, reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So reconciliation. It may not have ended well, or it may have ended great, but maybe the 2 of you just were not in the right place at the time that it happened. So if that's the case, reconciliation usually means more like coming back together and somebody making amends for something, but the romance cards doesn't necessarily mean it's a romantic situation. It could also be, maybe there's a situation in your life and there's a person from your past. The reason I'm bringing that up as well, even though this is the romance deck, is because sometimes when we let go of these angry feelings about other things, it can open a doorway. And it can open that vibration for the good things to come to you, including whoever is meant for you in this life. So, Reconciliations in one area can actually benefit your love life in the other, because you learn to not hold grudges. You learn to just, maybe you take things slowly. Maybe you set boundaries on what you're absolutely entitled to do. If it is somebody from your past that maybe you had dated, or, feel like things could have been better, even if it doesn't turn into something romantic, allow the reconciliation to happen. Because again, when you let go of these anchors to your past, when you pull up the anchors, your ship is able to sail freely through the ocean of bliss, right? And you're going to find whatever's meant for you. Or in some cases, maybe it is. I mean, come on, Elizabeth Taylor married the same guy twice. All right. Now, a bit of a volatile relationship, but I think because of that, you knew they were soulmates. But yeah, but she married Richard Burton twice. So, probably not the best example. I know, not the best example, but it's the first one that hit my head. So somebody up there is either messing with me or just saying, hey, let's inject some humor. But no, but seriously, they had a bit of a, I think, I'm not sure if older siblings on or not, but I would say they had a bit of a tumultuous relationship. And I'm just saying about older sibling because I know that she's a big fan of both. And I actually met Elizabeth Taylor. So, but reconciliation can be very, very important in all aspects of your life, even if it doesn't have anything to do with someone that you may have been seeing or are seeing. But also, somebody's telling me to say this. If you feel like, say you might be separated, or even if you're divorced, I read an article during COVID or just after COVID where a couple had divorced because they just felt like they were growing apart. And, everybody thought that they were the it couple. And then during COVID, they got back together to parent because they had 2 kids. And they got back together to co-parent. And in the meantime, they re-fell in love. So everybody said, hey, are you going to get married? They're all, no. We realized that this works just the way it is. And, maybe they're a little superstitious. Maybe, I don't know. But they thought, no, we've been married once before. Technically, we probably still feel like we're married. But they decided to just let their relationship roll the way it was. And I read this, like I said, I read this article recently. And they're still together. And so you never know what's going to happen when you're thrown into something, a traumatic event, or when you're thrown into something together. So, reconciliation isn't just about someone from your past coming in. It could be somebody that's already in your life that maybe you're just going to rekindle something with. So this card indicates that an ex-lover may be re-entering your life. This is why I give my own opinions first, my own thoughts on these cards beforehand, because it upends me with the first sentence. So again, this card indicates that an ex-lover may be re-entering your life. The first person you think of is likely who it will be. The purpose of this reconciliation is to achieve healing and closure with respect to your past. Excuse me. You will understand more about yourself and see your relationship patterns more clearly. You'll also take responsibility for the role you played in the relationship's drama, which will free you from the tyranny of unforgiveness. Reconciliations are ultimately about taking care of unfinished business. This card could also possibly mean making space with a family member or a friend. Each relationship is a sacred learning experience Jesus, I can't read today. Each relationship is a sacred learning experience, so be open to this reunion's lessons and blessings. Ultimately, all healings help your love life and every other part of your world. So yay, look at that. I hit the nail on the head, right? Whatever you're going through, it can make itself better if you trust it. So it's not about necessarily getting back with somebody, but it's saying, hey, they had a whole episode on the Big Bang Theory, like why Raj struggles in a relationship. And they brought in all these other girls he dated over the years. And they just told him, what for them, and it wasn't necessarily easy for him, right? I mean, it was kind of, it might have damaged his soul a little bit because it's like, whoa. But I think it was also eye-opening because then you realize these are the things I brought to the table that may not have been the healthiest things to bring to the table. So reconciliation can make it better. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Whoops. There is a strong magnetic attraction here. So I talked about this the other day. Actually, it was yesterday, and I got a very, very nice comment from one of my Facebook friends, and it was the male perspective. And they, I was like, sometimes people are going to miss out on things because, they may not like what they see on the outside, so they're going to miss something on the inside. If you have chemistry with someone, or you think you might have chemistry with someone, don't worry about what's out here, okay? Because what you should be looking at is what the person brings to the table via their soul, their heart, the kind of person that they are. Because you may look all fabulous. I mean, come on. In his day, Ted Bundy was kind of the catch, right? I don't get it. I know. I don't see it, but hey, I was just a wee thing in the 70s. But the dude was a serial killer. He was a fucking serial killer, okay? So looks don't always matter. All right? Because, just because someone might be hot doesn't mean that they're great. All right? And I say that loosely when it comes to him, but I wanted to use that example. Or even Richard Ramirez. A lot of people thought he was very attractive. If you watch some of these documentaries, not a bad looking guy. One of the most prolific, freaking crazy ass MFing serial killers to date. Seriously. I know. Now that doesn't mean every hot person you see or every attractive person you see is going to be a serial killer. My point is that what somebody looks on the outside may not necessarily what they represent on the inside. Okay? But as a people, we tend to judge a lot. I see this a lot in Southern California. I grew up here. I've lived here all my life. I see this a lot in Southern California. And a lot of times someone might be attracted to somebody, but they worry more about what their friends think than what their heart is, what their heart feels. Don't worry about other people. People will come around. What you have to do is what's best for you. If you have chemistry with someone, or you think you might have chemistry with someone, maybe you dream about them, you have no idea, maybe you haven't even met them yet, right? Or maybe you just see them on social media. I don't know. So many weird things are possible nowadays because of the creation of social media. Anything is possible. Everything is possible. Don't worry about what other people think. Don't let other people influence you. All right? If you think that this person matches your soul vibration, let it happen. Let it ride. Because like I said, the outside, it'll change over time. It can change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes not for the better. And by not for the better, I mean sometimes people get sick. Or sometimes people struggle emotionally. And it might, come on, I'm an emotional eater. But, whoever keeps passing me by, they're missing something fun, because I am learning my self-worth and my self-respect, and I'm pretty damn amazing. So ask my friends, because they're the ones that tell me, so I'm just going with it. But anyways, there's a strong magnetic attraction here. And, also, I know people that worry about age. People worry about age. I worry about age. But what I'm talking about is I have another friend who is of a certain age, and their boo is about 11 years younger than they are. And oh, thank you, Catherine. You're so sweet. See, I'm really trying to be nice to myself and say nice things about myself. But my friend, her boo is about 11 years younger than her. And when they first started dating, she's like, but this person is blah, 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 younger than me. And I thought, who cares? All right. I mean, come on, who cares? If you have that connection, you feel that connection, then just see where it goes. Next week, they'll be together for 2 years. So, oh, hi, Jeannie. My cousin's on. So, I can't see who's on, guys, except Catherine, because Catherine popped up. She's the only one that's popped up that I can see viewing. So, I don't know how many people are watching or what, but thank you, Jeannie. And these girls are amazing in their own way. My cousin and Catherine. And it was funny, I was just talking about my cousin Jeannie earlier when I talked about the church thing and selling stuff. So, chemistry is a big, big thing. And if you have it with somebody, don't worry about all the other stuff. Just don't hold yourself back, I think is what I'm trying to say. Just see where it goes. It may become something amazing. It may not become anything at all. Or you may just get a really good friend out of it, So, you've received this card because you feel a strong dynamic pull toward another person. In other words, you share chemistry with him or her or them. This creates intense, pleasurable sensations that draw you to each other. If this person is someone other than your partner in a committed relationship, then the chemistry is probably a source of both stress and escape. You'll need to weigh your options and the consequences carefully before you, or instead of leaving your current partner or embarking on an affair. If you are feeling something for somebody else, you need to evaluate your feelings. You need to figure out, wait, am I feeling this because I'm not getting what I need from my partner? Or am I feeling this because maybe I'm not feeling this anymore? Get counseling first, because it may just be a lot of different life things upending. You know, maybe you have this really nice relationship, but the communication might not be working. You know, maybe you're not communicating your needs to your partner, or your partner's not communicating your needs to to you. So you might accidentally be pushing each other away when all you need to do is talk it out and find a way to come back together. So that's a, but I have no judgment. Okay. People are going to make decisions they're going to make, and they have to make them for, whatever suits their life at the time. If, however, you are single and feel this pull toward another unattached person, then this card brings you a go-ahead green light of good news. Most likely, the chemistry is mutual and merits exploration. Ooh. But yeah. Anyways, no prospects on the horizon. So in some cases, this card may mean that a lack of chemistry is a cause for relationship issues and personal discontent. If there was chemistry initially, it may be restored by devoting effort in the relationship. Passion sparks and romance can be revived through playfulness, thoughtfulness, time together, and caring gestures. Call upon the romance angels to guide you as you make important decisions about channeling this chemistry. So there you go. If you are trying to find something, then maybe, it's, God, there it is again. So this isn't the next card that I'm going to read, but this is the last card that's going to come up. Children came up again. Seriously. I mean, not a bad thing, but seriously, that's the second time. 2 different decks, and children came up again. So this one, release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. The time has come to clear your energy. Release your ex. So, as per usual, when I do an oracle reading, I always tend to give you my perspective on things and things that I've been through to kind of... And the reason I do that is because I do see readings on YouTube all the time, and I love them because they're direct and to the point, but they always like to give I used to think, oh my God, maybe I'm talking too much about this, that, or the other, but they relate their experiences too, because we all know that somebody out there that's going to hear this is going to say, hey, you know what, I've been through that too. So but I'm not alone in this. So a lot of times that's why we do that. Releasing your ex, the time has come to clear your energy. Up until about 2 months ago, every so often, I would have a dream about my ex. And it was either me chasing him chasing me, or us coming together. And it's not something I want to revisit, and maybe that was something that I had to reconcile in my own heart. And I did finally, but he was very kind. He was very nice, but there were a lot of shortcomings on both of our parts. And there was a real big lack of communication. And a lot, and I don't mean to say this because I don't want to put anyone down, because I know if I had opened my mouth and communicated better, things may have turned out differently, but I was a much different person back then. I was, still struggling with my trauma, still struggling with my mental health, still trying to find a footing that would take me, a lot of years later, or a lot of years between now and then to find. But I had a dream about him about 2 months ago. And, he was laying in this bed, and I just turned the corner. I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? And he's, oh, what do you mean? I'm like, you need to stop coming into my dreams, because this is not a thing. All right. And I was surprised when I woke up. I was kind of like, maybe I finally reconciled all those feelings. And I realized it came on the same thing where back then I thought to be in a relationship and to be intimate with somebody is how love was expressed. Love is expressed through the gestures, the kindness, the compassion. When you come home and you're frazzled and you're having a shitty day, and somebody just walks up to you and says, hey, Do you need a hug? Or just hugs you for no reason. To me, that's the intimacy. Not just having sex. I mean, that's obviously a good part of a relationship, right? It's a healthy part of the relationship. You know, when you communicate, who knows how exciting it can be. But that's not everything. The love that we receive from somebody is the mutual respect we share with someone. It's the mutual understanding and being open enough to communicate and say, hey, you know what? It kind of bugs me when you do this. But, and I mean, obviously maybe say it in a nicer way because, you know, maybe there's something you do that bugs them. But people just say, well, I just live with it because I love them. But you can work on it together because it might be something you do to somebody else that pushes them away. So, you know, we're all human. We're going to make mistakes. We're not perfect. I like to think of myself as perfectly imperfect. And I used to shoot for perfection so hard when I was younger because I had to control everything. But the more I've learned to go with the flow, the more I've learned to just let go. And which is another thing that I'm planning on doing while I'm here, is just going with the flow and letting go. Learning how to just accept that flow and to stop trying to control things once and for all. And I think having the time alone and having the meditative time will be good for that. But sometimes that's what we need to do. So if it comes to needing to release an ex or the feeling that you have of an ex that might be holding you back from another relationship, then it's time to do so. And that doesn't mean that you just say, okay, chopping block. No, you're not Henry VIII, all right? You don't have to cut off your wives' heads to get out of a marriage. But, or maybe not a marriage, but a relationship. But what I'm saying is when it says release your ex, release that energy, clear that energy out. That doesn't mean you can't still be friends with them, right? I mean, maybe you co-parent with somebody, or maybe you co-pet parent with somebody. I know people who have broken up and they co-pet parent because they want that pet to have their best life. So it's kind of like, you know, having a child, but it's with a four-legged creature. So, you know, but people figure it out. They figure it out. So the reconciliation card could also go with this based on, you know, just simply based on when you learn how to reconcile these feelings and when you learn how to reconcile whatever went wrong in the relationship and you just focus on what was good about your friendship to begin with. Because most relationships will start out as a friendship. People getting to know each other, people learning the ins and outs of one another. You know, a relationship really is just when you add intimacy to something or you move in together or you get married. But I mean, usually it's when you add the intimacy, the sexual intimacy into it. So if you need to release that energy, the anger, the pain, the sadness, the sorrow, let it go. Just focus on the good stuff. All right. So you can open up your flow. So you drew this card because your love life will improve once you emotionally and energetically release your ex-lover. The benefits of doing so include increased happiness, feelings of freedom, and the ability to attract a new lover who would otherwise sense the presence of your ex in your aura. You're clearing out your energy field. The moment you make the decision to let go of the past, it is done. Sometimes this is akin to peeling layers from the onion. So continue releasing your ex whenever old familiar feelings arise, or you find yourself attracting people reminiscent of him or her. As the painting on this card depicts, woe to me, that's a so woe to me kind of look, like, oh my God, right? You're woe to me. As the painting on this card depicts, you may want to ceremonially burn a letter to release the old relationship energy and symbolically let go of old feelings. Or you can call upon the romance angels to clear lingering attachments to your ex. So I don't really see them burning anything, but I guess right here I see little lines of something. Oops, something. So maybe they have it in the fire, but if that's supposed to be fire, they might want to move their hand because that's not going to turn out well. But yeah, so I know, older sibling, because I just do this like, oh, woe to me, my life. But yeah, so let go, just clear your energy field. If you're not really sure how to do that either, and you're like, well, I don't know how to clear my energy field. When you take a shower, just imagine this light around you, okay? Like maybe if you're holding on to negative energy that you don't want to be hanging on to, imagine whatever color, like maybe a black thing around you. And when you get into the shower, showers can be ritualistic, believe it or not. Just imagine that it's washing away all the gunk off of your pretty white light, all right? So last but not least, Children. Your love life is being affected by children. Your love life is being reflected by children. Oh, thank you, Catherine. I don't know if you're still on, but I hope you have a wonderful day too. And I love you back, girl. So, yeah. So children. All right. I don't, here's the thing. I have been privy to situations. Oh, I love Catherine. She's such a sweetheart. I've been privy to relationships, or not myself personally, because I don't have kids, but I've been privy to look in at relationships that, or love lives that were affected by children. It's not always the child's fault. Sometimes it's hard. Change is not easy. I know this. I'm 50 years old. Change is not easy. And I'm finally learning how to just embrace the fact that life changes consistently. Every day, every moment is change. But I think a lot of times when we look at change, we're looking at in the broad spectrum of everything, instead of how, every step we take is a change, because you're not where you used to be, you're going forward. And if you come back, even if you retrace your steps, it's still not the same moment. Maybe you walk out and you have your coffee with you, you come back, the coffee's not there. That's change. And that might seem like a weird example to some, but that's exactly it. It's change. It's these small little things that we do in every moment with every breath. So what we need to do is understand that sometimes the children will affect a relationship or your love life. And it's not necessarily in a bad way either. Sometimes you might stay with somebody for the kids. I've seen movies where people have said, oh, we're staying together for the kids, and then they get a divorce and the kids are like, man, I'm glad you guys are much happier without each other. Because kids notice things. Children notice things. And as they get older, they see this tension. And, I know a lot of people think that it's the best to do for them but children pick up on things. Kids pick up on vibes. We're all born with an open sense of seeing and believing anything until it's kind of browbeaten out of us through education, or no, that's not right, or no, that's evil, or no, that's bad. Life is life. God gave us gifts, but sometimes people are afraid of them. Sometimes people are afraid to understand them and embrace them, because they can be a little weird for some people. But for me, he gave me a lot of gifts. And, I have a very full spiritual table. Well, like I said, right at the front, like chairman of the board, because that's how I grew up. I was raised Catholic. And sometimes we have to understand where a child is coming from. Sometimes counseling can help. Or sometimes in some cases, some people may use their children to not, have to re-enter, the dating world. Maybe, well, I have kids, so, I don't want them affected by this. Your partner may be out there just living their best life, still being a great parent. And, you're using them like, I know I have kids. It's like, well, so-and-so has, the same kids, but they're out there living their best life. So just be careful when it comes to these kind of things, because, if a child is struggling with something, sometimes you have to go deep and figure out what it is, or just sit down and tell them, look, I know this isn't comfortable for you, and this isn't change, you're not liking this change, but this is my life, and I need to do what's also best for me. But just know, you're always going to be number one for me. I'm always going to be your parent, and I'm always going to have your best interests in mind. I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm doing this because I need this in my life as well. So, and sometimes it's about feeling like their other parent might be being replaced or whatever. It can get very complicated. So sometimes, and I suggest this heavily, sometimes counseling can help this. It can help them move through their emotions. It can help them move through whatever it is that they're struggling with. And it may not be any of those things. It could just be something else, but you don't know, because a lot of times kids won't always communicate with their parents. Maybe because they don't want to disappoint them, or maybe because, they don't want to talk to them, so sometimes adding that mediator in can really, really help. So children, The romance angels sent you this card because children are a significant factor in your love life. Either you want them or your partner. Oh, either you want them or you or your partner have kids who are influencing your love life. This is a factor to consider when you desire to improve your romantic future. The angels honor and support all expressions of love, and they're willing and able to help you with any issue concerning children. In addition, this card can also signify that you or your partner's inner child is affecting your relationship. This may mean there's a need for playfulness or a lighthearted spirit, or it could signal that it's time to heal a childhood emotional wound. The loving nature of your inner child and children in general is supportive of healing work, especially when its intention is to bring in more love. So I can relate. My inner child, my inner floof, needed some serious healing. I believe that a lot of this emotional eating, was because I was building a wall. Because I have it in my head that no one will be attracted to this, which is not true. Lots of people are attracted to different people. I am literally making decisions for other people I don't know. And I think when we put a certain vibe out there, that's the vibe that's going to come back to us. So I had to heal my inner child. And it's been hard because I think we're just at the end. And I say we because I'm talking about my inner floof. But I was some intense journaling I did for a while and some serious shadow work that I had to do. But when we go in and we heal, when we go in and heal these bits of us that might have been traumatized, that might have been hurt, that may have felt like they're just unwanted or unlovable or unworthy, all these things I've felt. I mean, I have wonderful parents who had no idea why I felt this way until they found out why. But then they couldn't understand why I still felt this way. And it's not always easy to let these things go. But it has to be a choice. And that's why earlier when I complimented myself, I'm really working hard on that self-respect, that self-worth. Because I think it's important for us to feel these beautiful things about ourselves. You know, we weren't put on this planet to hate ourselves. We were put on this planet to love ourselves and spread this beautiful light that we have. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to say I got distracted. I looked out my window and there is this cloud that literally looks like the head of Baymax from Disney's Big Hero 6. It just distracted me really quick. I'm so sorry. But it does. It's like literally looks like Baymax. I'd show you, but the window's kind of messed up. I need to wash it. So anyway, but yeah, if that's part of the issue, you know, I didn't even think about the fact that it could be our inner child. So if your inner child needs some work or it needs some help and it needs a little bit of a oomph of a push, don't be afraid to give it that. You know, or if you're the person who's so serious, who's so within themselves and doesn't know how to let their inner child out to play, to have fun, to go out and have a good time, to just live their best life, it might be time to let that inner child loose. All right. So, wow, this was a long one, wasn't it? I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. Have a great, great weekend. Also, everybody back here on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Actually, I'm still not sure about Monday. Monday's a holiday in the United States. So, I'm debating on it because, you know, I'm really trying to be better and take the time I need so that I don't have to cancel shows all the time. Because, I mean, even when I go on vacation, I do these shows. So I'm really trying to teach myself the patterns of if it's a holiday, don't worry about it. You know, just let it go. That I don't always have to be on live. Okay. So, yeah, I know it sounds silly to some people, but I think I'm really trying to put myself in this place so that I don't burn out again. So I'll think about it. But I think right now I'm going to say no. There's no show on Monday because it's a holiday. All right. So again, have a great, great day. If I don't see you Monday, who knows? I know I tend to just, you know, backpedal all the time. I will see you Tuesday. So I'm going to force myself to do this. There will be no show on Monday. Tuesday, I will be back, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. Thanks for, I think Jeannie's still on. So thank you for dealing with that with me. Thanks for going through that with me. Have a great, great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging in there. This went a lot longer than I expected, but I love you all for watching, seriously. And please, please, please take care of yourselves, all right? Have a great day.